silence their phones, please. And hold your questions to the end during the public comments. Yes, we're ready to do the pledge of allegiance. There's a flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mitch Moore. Earl Wilmore. Here. Kevin Quigg.
Here.
Marty Smith. Here. Christie Dunn. All here. Approval for the minutes we have for June 10th and then the special meeting for June 24th.
I make a motion to approve the minutes for June 10th and the special meeting on the 24th.
We have a motion on the floor.
I'll second.
We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Department heads. Brad.
Just two things. Police department, we had the half of the floor of the garage is not done yet. What did transpire turned out amazing. Looks great. We've got it all put back together. So just not really on that. They're coming up.
Next week,
This
ain't it?
week, it's next week to do the garage. I have nowhere to put the stuff, so I'm probably going to take an enclosed trailer up there, just move it all in, lock it, secure it. There's nothing real value there, but just to get the stuff that we do have in there out of the garage until they complete it, and then we'll put it back in there. The second thing, you all know we have an officer that's been hurt. He's currently on workman's comp. That is not covering his full salary. It's short, $207.40 a week. Are we able to cover that difference until he is released for duty?
Do you have a timeline that you'll be back in?
I haven't even seen that because of the holiday. They couldn't get me to see anybody else. Anybody put in this week.
Okay.
Am I right on that? They don't pay 100%, they do like 85%.
Yeah, no, it's not full.
It's 66%.
6%, that's 2/3.
Yeah, so.
I mean, is there an opportunity to do that in the league?
The issue you get into is the ghost employment statute where you're paying, the ghost employment statute prohibits you paying someone who is not providing services to the town. And, in a case like this, I don't know whether State Board of Accounts would take exception to you paying an amount over and above workers' comp to someone who is not actively providing services to the town. I think if you're inclined to do that, I would reach out to State Board and try to get confirmation from them that they're not going to take exception to that in the next audit. So if you wanted to do that, I would make a conditional on approval from State Board. If you're not inclined to do that, then we don't need to worry about it. But that's the issue that comes up.
I don't know if the company doesn't do that for me.
I think we should. I mean, he's working for us when it happened.
That's usually what happens when you go for workman's comp. That's how it works. You get hurt on the job, you get workman's comp.
I don't know. I see it from both sides. Just the the human aspect of it
The town side, the business side.
is that we got to take care of the people we have.
Right.
Is there some paperwork or something we can do? We can
I did reach out to the State Board of Accounts to get clarification on that, and I never received a phone call back. So I don't know, someone.
It usually takes a few, I don't know when you did that, it usually takes a few days to get a response, but,
Last week.
okay.
And then the last thing I have is, the insurance has been corresponding with the vehicle that's totaled. I took it up to, Waymark in town, they took photographs of the whole car, all the equipment and stuff in it. I'm waiting on a quote from them to get that back from them in writing, so that I can provide that to Lori, she can provide to the insurance company.
Okay. That was
So
my
the car is
next.
currently secured in our garage.
Okay. That was my question for you tonight, yeah. So, I don't mind reaching out to State Board of Accounts to see where that, how we can do that, or we're allowed to do that. So what's your guys' thoughts on that?
I think we should at least see
Okay.
if they allow it.
Well, I'm not telling you what to do, but I think one thing you could do, my sense is that there's an inclination on your part to pay the additional amount if you're permitted to. If State Board of Accounts, then you're gonna have to reconvene a meeting to take action to do that. If you wanted to, by motion, vote to pay the additional compensation, subject to State Board of Account not taking exception, then you would have taken the action tonight and won't need to meet again. We won't have the problem of that all being authorized outside of the meeting. So it would be kind of a conditional decision or conditional approval.
And you have to consider, if you do it for one employee, you have to do it for every employee.
You don't have to. I think you put yourself in an awkward position because you're gonna hear from other employees that you did it for this person, why not me? But you're not obligating yourselves in any legal sense to do it for anybody else. You know, when we talk about precedent setting, it is a practical precedent, not a legal one. Okay?
One on the other side of it is like work comp is essentially an insurance policy, so we're not paying.
We're paying insurance policy, and that's
We're
what
paying, but we always pay the insurance policy.
And we
but
have
we're not
claims
paying
that
the
can-
salary.
It's also all about the pension.
What'd you say?
You guys don't have a business head amongst you. You gotta think it's a business. This is a business. That's, money, count for the money.
Karen, don't have a shortage, our state went up substantially.
Yeah, it will go up.
That's all I know.
Let me reach out to State Board's accounts. And Gannon, will you touch base with me once you see the doctor, so we know what timeline that we're looking at? Cause it could be 4 or 5 months before you get back, and I just wanna know, yes.
So
At least trying to get back to the light duty, so I can at least get back in the office.
Okay.
So there is someone from Workman's Comp that goes with him to his appointments, and I get all the corresponding emails. So everything that they are told, I get the corresponding emails, and I know what's said and done at his appointments.
Okay. If you can share that with the board, that way we know where we're at on the,
Yes.
since I'm gonna reach out, that would help us.
Yep.
Okay. We'll just table it until we figure out, get all our ducks in a row.
Yeah,
Okay.
if they'll even allow it.
Yeah.
Because if this next six over round, then maybe you just take them off for the next comp, or you just pay them instead of staying.
Yeah.
And then it's workers' comp.
Right.
That's
That would be a good idea.
Yeah.
something to figure out.
Yeah. We'll
If
just-
the doctor would release you to life duty, would that be something? you could-
Well, that's what he's
Yeah,
waiting to
that's-
see.
He does have doctor, yeah, we'll just wait until he sees the doctor and Brian sends me the stuff and I'll reach out.
So there might be
Yeah.
changes to this.
It would.
So-
Cheap, just bring that.
That's an option.
Maintenance supervisor, Mike.
Welcome, Mike.
He's got his feet on the ground running.
Yeah.
So basically, I'm just starting getting things going my direction. We had a water leak on the 4th of July, so I come in and fix that. Let's see, trying to get some of that, dirt out in front of the equipment so we can get that out when that goes.
Okay,
I've got one of the other trucks going today, the white 3/4 ton.
Okay,
So, we got a battery for it, we're gonna take the salt spreader out of it so we can utilize that truck and everything.
perfect.
Been working on work orders and trying to get some of the locates done without proper mapping. It's kind of hard. So some of that is just I'm blind on it. I gotta go through the maps and see if I can find what we have so I can go and look and then go from there. So I can get these locates done. And then me and Lori's working on getting 811 going, so we can get it on maybe a tablet
Yep.
or iPad, and that way all that goes in there, and then no more paperwork on that. It's all digital, and then we can just do a positive response right there.
Okay.
So,
And I did send Chris, the IT guy, a text so we can pick that up, so we can get that updated. So I tried updating it, but yeah.
right.
The data's playing needs to be put back on for some reason when Charlie wiped it, it was gone. Did you hear me, Lori?
No.
Charlie wiped it, that took the data plane off of it,
Oh, okay.
so that's why.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
So, but as far as I'm
Okay.
it's a work in progress. So
Thank
we're
you.
making some room down there and cleaning some stuff up too,
good,
for sure.
yeah. And hey, and thank you for coming in before you even started.
Right. Thursday, we have, American Pump coming in to change that valve out for us.
Okay,
And, we'll have to get a back truck, we've already got that ordered for that. Because the sewer line that goes, dumps right in there, there's no other secondary shut off valve
okay.
for that, so we have to use a back truck.
Thank you for what you're doing.
Is that for the tank with the broken bracket in it?
No, this is for another valve that it's not allowing it to go in, it's broken, it won't even know, it's an automated valve. So, we've already got the valve set there, we're scheduled for Thursday morning.
Okay.
I think at 8 o'clock, so it'll be there,
Perfect,
so. yeah.
thank you.
Thanks, man.
To touch on the mapping that he was saying,
It's,
I believe Jenny,
it's just the town has got
so
some
they reached out and
some
offered
on the
GIS, like that they could come and do the GIS mapping. So I'd be happy to reach out to Pete and see what kind of costs we'd be looking at on that.
Okay, I thought we did GIS mapping a few years ago.
We had it on one of the computers, in the office, and then it was on one of the maintenance computers, but that, laptop, but I believe that laptop was lost. And now I cannot find it, it's switching all the computers around, I cannot find that GSI mapping on, the other one, so it might be.
We paid one time for this computer and this mapping system.
Yeah, that's what we're
They
talking
never
about.
used it.
Yeah, it was,
Ever used.
This is, yeah, this is what we're talking about, yeah, okay.
So we
And
can.
that GIS system is super simple to learn. We had it at New Whiteland when I worked there, and it makes life a lot easier doing locates and knowing where storms, manholes are.
Right.
And then we can add meter pits, all that.
Maybe if we can just get it
Or
reinstalled
reinstalled.
on the computer.
If
and
we
then
can figure out who did it for us and
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
Let's see if we
Yeah.
can.
It could have been Western Engineer, it could have been the other engineer, I don't know.
I don't remember.
So,
Gosh, that was really great.
That was a long time
I was
ago.
up on
Jenny was,
Yeah, but it's on the computer somewhere.
I can't find, I,
Would the IT guy be able to go on it?
Listen, I didn't think we ever even got the computer out. I thought it was still in the box in the office somewhere.
No,
We didn't-
They
yeah,
have it.
I left it with-
I physically went and bought one and gave it to Charlie
yeah,
with all his login information. I had stuff.
Well-
But one came with it when we
Oh, I don't.
did all that.
so I'm going through that desk down there, and there's a lot of, it's just trash.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to decipher what's good and what's bad.
Anything that says MS4 on it, you
I-
have a lot of MS4 stuff.
Yes.
Please don't.
No, I know that.
And our
So-
storm drains are on there, and if you want, sometime you get time, I can come down there and show you, and you can see, I think we have 8, it could be 9, it could be 9.
And I believe there's some maps down there also.
Yes, there is.
Okay.
It's in MS4 books, I know.
Okay, so
Yeah.
maybe we can get together one day and you can come down and tell me where they're at.
Okay, I can do that.
So, that way we can go through it and all that.
We were using Banning Engineering a lot back then. They may be the ones that did it, guys.
Yeah.
So,
I thought some guy come and just sold it to us, I don't know.
We'll have to do some, let me see if maybe we can pull it up somewhere. Okay. All right, I know I didn't do the, board first, so wait until, we're gonna start with Lori and then we'll go back around the board. Yes,
so, alright, you saw this sheet. I meant to tell you, car deal, I got a letter, I found some, they handed me a letter, the guys did. And I believe July 30th, if we don't get our order, and it's $30 a ton, and I believe we have 60 tons on order for winter.
So we have it one time and have that other, am I right with that?
No, they just delivered all at once.
oh,
So we need
Yeah.
to buy it with it.
is it time to come back with a question?
Yes, July 31st of 2025.
So if we
process
have to have it
storage
ordered
fee
by
no
then?
later than August 8th.
Okay,
They don't mean they'll deliver it then, right? We just gotta have to order it.
Well, that's, I need to call them.
okay,
So, and find out what the situation is. Me and my old boss, we looked it up yesterday when I got home, and he looked it up. There's a website you can go to that tells each municipality that what tonnage they get and everything, so.
all right.
And what, we're in Seymour district for that, so.
Can I add to that real quick?
What,
I did get a quote back today. I thought we do it, but I sent it to you personally now.
Okay,
Great Work Post Buildings, Contact Economics Company, they came back at $48,759.01.
8,000 something.
$48,759.01.
So what size is that building?
That is 30 wide, 40 deep, three-sided building, 8-foot, concrete walls, and then 12 foot above that of building.
and it's right on the existing
It
concrete pad?
sits on the existing concrete pad.
How many feet in addition to that? You say the last thing you said,
It was, 30 feet wide, 40 feet deep.
3 sided.
The current pad is 48 wide, 46 deep. We're not using the whole thing because
no.
you just don't need that big a barn. Trying to save money. 30 feet is an actual right size for, it's a generic size to build a building, so we save a little money by doing it on
So what was the clearance?
20 feet high. I'm sorry, I didn't have the whole group in my email anymore, so.
Okay.
But that was one, I had 2 guys there to quote at the same time. I don't think the other guys would give us a quote. He was a home builder, but I think once he got there and seen the project, he knew he was over his head. That does not include tearing down the old building, that's on us. That's just coming in and setting once we clear this.
It won't be hard, just push it.
Yeah. Just hanging on by.
Am I right, Mike?
Might be a little harder than you think.
Okay, that's good to know on the salt barn though. Hey, did they give you a timeline by any chance how long it would take them to build it?
I would guess probably,
Yeah,
Your concrete, you're gonna say 60 to 90 days, once they start on it.
okay,
Because it would take 30 days for the concrete to cure, and then they build on top of that.
okay.
Well, I thought we were using the existing one.
Well, they're building a concrete wall.
There's concrete walls,
Oh.
8 feet up, which was a requirement from DNR.
Can't use them big concrete things that sit on top of each other.
you can, but you reduce the inside of what the existing is, so.
Okay. All right. Lori,
I just want to give everybody a heads up that August out for the ILMCT school. That's Monday through Thursday. We are going to have to close the office down for that. I do plan on having, the billing clerk come in, either Monday and Wednesday, or every day, and at least pick up the Dropbox, go to the mail, make the, be able to make deposits in the 5 minutes. I'm not yet quite sure if we're gonna just close the login or leave the drive up open, how comfortable she feels with
The
doing
drive
that.
up.
Provided you can-
Provided the drive up is open at time.
Yeah.
So I'm still in the process. She's
What
only been
school
there
is
a month, so she's
What school is it that you're going to?
ILCT, support school, in the French
August,
language.
the what, the what?
11th through the 14th.
Yes, the 11th through the 14th, and then we will be back, the afternoon of the 14th, and then we'll be, both of us will be in the office that Friday.
Okay.
To do payroll and all that good stuff. And then also, that you may have noticed that there isn't any newsletters in the utility bills this month, and that the reasoning behind that is that we've been getting, told for, I don't know how many years, that it's been a redundancy. We have the same thing every month. Very little new information has been put in there. So to cut the cost of ink, time, paper, we started putting the information on the bottom of the bill. So we'll give the dates the office is closed, any holidays, any pertinent information that does come up. And of course, the town board meetings are always on there, with date, time, and location on there also. If we will have the website, is moving forward on that. I'm going to be getting pictures around town so that can be put on for that. I'm hoping that we can get everything wrapped up quickly.
Okay, perfect.
Let's see, the other thing is, the awning out front of the office is split down the middle. So I did not know if you wanted me to reach out, or who wants to reach out and see about getting a new awning
Wasn't that
for the town. It's all down the whole.
Can we do it?
I can do that, there's an awning place on 16th Street, I go by every day.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
perfect.
yeah, I can get you some contacts as well.
Yes, I'll take on the awning, right? Okay, thanks.
July 25th, Friday at 9:15, I have a virtual meeting with the DLGF, our field rep, who is going to be doing a one-on-one with budget. So if anybody would like to be in on that, if you want to be at the office at 9:15 that Friday, that way we all can ask for questions.
Just like what, 45 minutes?
It's
or
about 45 minutes, is what she said.
What date is that?
It's Friday, the
25th.
July 25th, at 9:15.
Okay.
And then we also have got the WINS, which is the wireless emergency notification system set up. I do have a lot of people that have already signed up for it. All we need is a phone number or an email, whichever you would prefer. If you already get the notifications through Morgan County of a storm is coming, a tornado, or what have you, they just do the exact same thing, but it's just us that would be sending out emergencies of a water leak or a boil order or what have you for the town instead. That way, for people who do not have the internet, and when we do get the website up and running, this is another way for them to get that access to that information. And it also works better than us sticking a piece of paper up in the window that's blue or yellow.
Are we any closer to getting the website up and running?
I have to go and get the pictures. We need to all have pictures taken. And I can have pictures taken around town. And I'll get that to Kirsten as soon as possible. She sent me already what she has done, and I've already checked it off, and it looks good. The last thing I've got is that somebody's gonna need to reach out to Sam and then off of meter readers. I do not have his number or any contact information.
Send it to you.
Oh, never mind, then I just lied.
You didn't lie.
So, I will send it to them, and they're gonna be starting, reading meters this week.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah,
But I will get in touch with
thank
them
goodness.
tomorrow.
If they need any assistance trying to find them, yes.
I've got notes on the way.
Somebody can call me, I'll try to help them if I have to.
But that's all I have.
Okay. Marty?
Yeah, Kirby and I have been working on the getting rid of the scrap and everything at the maintenance building. And we had that auction, the vintage auction, right? And we was able to sell a few of the items that they wanted to try to sell, and they did sell. And the only thing left now is the actual scrap that we're doing right now.
Okay.
And Kirby had a gentleman that put in a bid to get rid of it all. And basically, I told everybody that needed to be involved if they wanted to bid, to let us know. And I reached out to Dave Lewis, because he is a metal gentleman. And the other one, they only have two. It's the only one's ever got back with me. So, and so, what was his bid, Kirby?
What was it? Shouldn't we have them like closed?
I don't think so, because it's Saturday, because it's.
We're just getting rid of the scrap, not the
Yeah.
trucks and stuff.
Yeah.
Just the stuff that's no good. When it comes to the big stuff like the trucks that Mike's getting unburied and stuff like that, then we'll have an auction.
The scrap that we're talking about, the bid that I got was,
Well, we rate yours down, the government rate
Yeah.
down the village.
That's what I think.
oh, I mean, I can give you a,
He gave us something.
Yeah, he gave it to me. He gave it to
Yeah, he's already
everybody.
gave it to us.
Yeah, right.
I'll give you a whole printout, but I'll
Yeah.
go over it.
Here.
He will come in, bring his equipment, cut up what's too big to just pick up and haul off. He'll cut it up, put it in his trailers, take it directly up to Omni. He will give us a copy of the weight, the scale weight when it goes in. He'll bring us a copy of the check, and he'll bring us a check for 50% of what they paid him. So he's using his trucks, his equipment, cutting it all up, and turn around and paying us 50% of what he
Yeah,
makes.
he's doing all the work and we're not
What
having to
about-
pay him anything. Okay. Mr. Lewis, do you want to put in an offer like you?
According to the State Board of Accounts today, you have no way to bid this out the way it should be. I don't know how much insurance you gotta have, I don't know what times, hours, it's just like doing an auction or whatever. There is nothing posted for us, what we gotta do, when we gotta do it, and how much we gotta do it for. I see nothing but trouble. I see, price-wise, I get a better price than OmniSource from whatever this guy's getting from OmniSource, because Brickyard sells them probably 10,000 tons a year. But I don't know what kind of prices you got, and like I said, the only true fair way to do this is to have an auction. All the equipment should have been put in it, and then that way you know what you got. The State Board of Accounts, he was right about $1,000 on the minimum one. I had $5,000 for everything, but Mr. Mitch Wolver told me today he wants to know what you guys come up with. But according to him, I'm right. This should go in this side. And
So you're saying all the scrap up there needs to go in the sale?
you have scrap up there that's worth money.
I know, I've been up there, I know we have scrap up there,
Yeah.
yes.
You don't know what it's worth. I'm pretty sure I'm close on it, but it's worth a lot more than $5,000 that you guys are hoping to get out of it. And I got prices from OmniSource, like,
Then what's your price?
well, I tell you, $285 a ton right as of the other day. Is he paying $285? No, he's not. Everybody around OmniSource is paying most people $140 to $170. But because Brickyard and me and the other ones send so much tonnage in, we get a better price. So when we bid on stuff, I sit there and say, that looks like $5,000, I'll bid $4. And like I said in an auction, I'm a terrible person to be bidding against, because I make sure there's no profit up for somebody else. All that brass you've got, that will be within a nickel on that brass, and that brass, I'm gonna guarantee it's probably somewhere between 4,000 and 8,000 for the brass. And where's the copper that's missing? Nobody can tell me, but I know that there's from 4,000 to 8,000 pounds of copper gone from up there, or it's buried inside that building. And I'm not going to give $20,000 for something that maybe employees have already hauled off. And I've been heard about this for years, and copper, a few years back, was $4 a pound. Right now, today, $5.50 a pound. So it jumped up 50 cents today. So there's, you know, I don't know where this copper is. Is it there? Is it buried under the stuff? I don't know. And so by a pig and a poke and yeah, I give 52%, and I'll guarantee you $182.50. But I'm screwing the town if you even took that bid. Maybe he gets a better price, I don't know. But I would be leaving myself room to make money. And I don't want to get caught in a mess, which that is a mess. The best way to do it is like Craig, he'll have an auction, he'll sit there and they'll pull out the aluminum, they'll pull things out there, pull it all out, lay it out there, and then they'll say, we got this, this. And they charge you, if the person buys it, it's their responsibility to get it out of there. And they make sure that if it's the right deal, you got insurance for it. I mean, I've dealt with Craven, he's a good guy.
So what are your thoughts on this, Lee?
Well, I think if it's possible to stage an auction, and you're being told by somebody who's more knowledgeable about it than any of us are, that that's gonna be the best result, that's fine.
Marty, did you have something?
I'm
And they weren't
picturing-
interested in, were they?
But it was, I don't think it was the same type of.
Right.
Okay.
And like David said, Craven was the one when it came out.
Okay.
And he told us that basically they were, a certain percentage, you pay him to come, you pay him to just be there. Okay? Then you pay him to get everything ready, correct, Dave?
Depends on how the auction
Right.
set up. Generally, they charge you a percentage, but the bigger percentage is the person buying it. I buy something for $1,000, they charge me 10%, and you don't pay it, I pay it to the auction. And in the long run, you would, something I've had an idea ahead with the way they're doing down here at these guys doing all of the highway or the sewer work, the way they're cleaning that place up and making it immaculate. That's where I should do, is I should talk to Craig and say, come down here and have the auction right here. Bring your stuff down, line it up, you handle the money.
We ain't moving that stuff.
Why not?
It might not be a bad idea to do that.
Because I-
It's to do with it, not moving it, but,
Yeah, to have
because then we
an
can get rid of the working vehicles as well, just run those through it too.
If you want me to, I'll reach out
There's
to
Craven and there's another one.
Work with
in
Mike,
Milwaukee.
since he's the maintenance
Yeah.
supervisor, that's his area there, I think Mike should be a big part of it.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Okay, I can get with you anytime.
well, and not only that, there's things that I don't know what I'm gonna need.
Right.
So say, yeah.
I mean,
So he needs to decide what we get rid of when we don't.
What's buried underneath
But
there,
you-
you don't know. But it's
I
actually,
mean,
We're at a time.
there's visible things that I can see that needs to go,
Right.
Yeah.
plain and simple. Now, I don't see where we're gonna have the resource to be able to pull that stuff out and take it and try to do our job.
Right.
So, I mean, that's the kind of problem I see,
Right.
you know?
And once we start pulling that stuff out of that building, we
Correct.
have to do the whole thing, we just can't let it.
Right, we can't just do a little here, a little there, I mean,
Cause we got time, we're working on a time frame, right?
Yeah,
but
because we need to get that
pull
water
it out
out
enough
for
to see
salt.
what's in there. And
What's
whoever
that say?
finds
Right
that,
there?
that would stay there. I would not, I'd say, you're buying this right here, and they can come up, take a look at it, and say, okay. And like the guy from the state today, man, he was talking about the state sale. What you have in that building, I honestly have seen LaFerry and different people like that. I've seen them give $20,000 for that much junk in there. I don't even know how they're making money, but they knew it was proper, they knew there was a bunch of aluminum signs, they knew
Yeah,
something.
we don't know that's in there.
Yeah, you have no idea what's in there, but that's the kind of people I bid against, and that's why I wanted to know who I'm bidding against.
Okay,
Yeah, okay.
I'll get with you, Mike, I can, Friday possibly, and then we'll.
We got a meeting Friday, correct?
And that, yeah, we, Mike and I, Lori have a meeting on Friday.
Okay,
Yeah.
well then,
Friday morning.
Maybe Monday or something.
I can do Friday afternoon, whichever good for you, call me, and then, because I'm not working Fridays.
Okay. Anything else you got, Mike? Kevin?
And listen, if we need to have a special meeting to approve an option or whatever, let's just do it and get it.
Yeah, once they figure out.
Yeah, if we can get it done before the next meeting,
Yeah.
let's go for it.
Okay.
Met with the fire department a week ago Monday. They called me in there. Probably half of them. And, Blues is John Fletcher, he's volunteer fireman there, also a trustee in Union Township. They gave me a proposed budget for next year. I was expecting to call, I was waiting to call today because they were gonna discuss it some more before I said, you may pull the trigger, and they were kind of in on, but, if my math is correct, it's about 30% higher than what we paid last year. So, I know the whole budget season just opened, this past week, so definitely need to get on the ball.
We'd have to see if we get more than half dollars, even, but that's crazy. There's no way we can afford it.
I know, and they were talking
Heck,
everything from fire
we're supposed to
districts.
raise that much in
They're
the
not
fire
paying,
department.
they're not even paying their, volunteer firemen anymore for the runs. Like people are getting paid, or, there's some on-call people, I think two per station. John did say that program last year saved 3 people's lives. So, but, we need to do some deep diving and see what we can do, if we can do anything, or, see what else we can do other than have a volunteer fire department. They're pretty adamant about what, they said, flat out, we know you have issues here in town, but also we as a fire department have issues, so.
Yeah.
Well, now, I was reading on the legislation, the stuff that's changing, and they get lit money too, volunteer fire department, right? I read that.
I believe so. They are asking for the same amount from township as they are asking from the town.
So they're asking 30% here and 30% up there as well.
I don't think we paid the same amount. I don't recall.
Yeah, I think the township paid more.
Okay. I think
No,
you're.
But they're gonna even it out and ask for the same amount from the town, same amount.
Okay.
There's not any lead money going directly to a volunteer fire department. So,
They can apply for it.
not a volunteer fire department acting on its own. It would have to be under a contract with a municipal agent, a town or a township, and have that money flow through one of those agencies.
Some of that lit money will be expiring at 28, or
It will.
going away with it.
Well, and you're not collecting local income tax on your own anyway.
No.
Right. This is gonna get really tricky with these changes under SB 1 or SB 1 that, I think local jurisdictions are gonna have to figure out a way to impose local income tax to make up for the loss in, property taxes that you're gonna suffer over the next few years. And it's gonna affect everybody, but it's gonna affect things like fire departments, and fire protection territories and things like that too. It's getting harder and harder to maintain fire protection services.
Are they still trying to go to territory?
But we don't
I
want
don't
to
know.
territory. I don't think we want to do that.
No, but I'm just saying, that's government.
Yeah, I think, yeah, a lot of.
That's what's happening in Morgan County, in Morgantown, and, it's a much better arrangement for the department. They're much better equipped to provide now surfaces. But boy, a lot of people are angry about it.
Allegedly, that new building, they're projected to build down there in Centerton, the EMS, will be able to house a fire truck, so. Writing might go on the wall.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. Anything else?
But I do have a copy of it if you want to pass around. I think I didn't make any copies, but just gives them out, so. The meeting this month was postponed because of the holiday. It will be this Sunday, so I'll be there.
Okay,
Discuss more if anybody else would like. Continue.
all right. Anything else, Ken?
That's it.
Barb?
Yeah. I called about the trash day.
Okay.
And we can do either October the 3rd or the 24th and not mess with any fall break.
23rd or the 24th?
Yeah.
October the 3rd or what?
October
The 24th.
Oh, 3rd. Okay.
I say the 3rd.
Yeah.
Because of COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, then you're getting, but I don't know, cause
Did they give you a quote for?
they did, they said that it would be the same price. Is it, I thought it was, maybe it's a 4th.
Maybe it's the 4th. They would probably drop it off on the 3rd.
3rd, okay, so it would be October 4th now, okay.
So anyhow, it's $125 whole bill plus fuel plus $39 per ton. Same price as before, but double with 2 dumpsters.
Okay.
And they are dumpster sizes 20 yards. It's 8 by 22 by like 7 foot tall.
Okay.
So.
40 yard dumpsters.
Uh,
Okay. And 2 40-yard dumpsters would get quite.
yeah, that's double what we
I
have.
thought you
now.
just said 20 yard.
No, that's 40.
Before.
240s.
240. So. I
Yeah.
don't know what we paid last time, but she said it would be same price, but
That's-
fuel could change, you know,
Yeah.
get new fuel. new
That's a
fuel.
small variable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we go for
Yeah.
that 4th.
Okay, October 4th.
Yeah.
What about Mike, backup?
Oh, yeah, we'll have to have maintenance as assistants.
Could you, on the 4th of October, Mike?
Mike, we need you here on the 4th of October.
You're gonna be in the,
you just speak up a little, so.
The dump tank.
yeah, you're gonna be in the dump tanks,
Okay.
and
Be here with my speedos on.
there you go.
Okay, there's one more thing, the shirts, I thought there would be a shirt place in Mooresville, if there is, I can't find it,
Okay,
so I have to look for that.
all right.
That backup saved us.
I can
For the
We can
trash.
work that.
yeah,
Okay.
we've got a couple places.
And there's a lot of online, but I'm not really good.
Yeah.
I do think you should have collars,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, okay.
whatever.
Based on last time, I do hazmat seats.
Yeah.
Trash bin shirts. Okay, Mitch?
I don't have anything at this time.
Okay. I have been working on for the town council, we do have a Facebook page now. We have an email set up for the town council. And we also, yes, I have to put some pictures on it and stuff, and I do have our YouTube channel set up.
Is that what that's going?
This will go on, I can't upload it for 24 hours with YouTube, because the way you had to get started, I had to do it on a regular computer, I couldn't do it on the iPad. And, I was using the town iPad, and it didn't have enough storage. So I will take this up and plug it into my computer once it will let me upload it, and then I can send the link for that to that, to put on the website as well. So that is set, and I'll send you guys all the information, sign in.
Are we supposed to be live right now?
No, we can record it and I can upload it.
Is that true?
I don't know. My understanding was we had started transmitting,
It would not
Live
let me.
messages,
Yeah,
but-
it wouldn't let us.
right? But you can't do that indefinitely, right? We
No.
ultimately need to.
No, it's gonna go live, it's
Yeah.
just, it would not let us
Yeah,
set it
yeah, I
up
get
the way
it.
it was.
Yeah, that's the best we can do
It
tonight.
didn't have enough.
That, There's gonna be,
And
They're
Facebook,
gonna
you
be
have
on
to
it.
have your account for 90 days before you can do
Yeah.
a live feed.
this is gonna be a rough transition for a lot of
Yeah.
towns.
And I went on and watched, and some of them had just been uploading it into the
Yeah.
YouTube channel. So for
That's
as
why-
long as we could, as long as they can view it on the YouTube channel, we were good for right
Yeah,
now.
that's what some of the others don't have to do.
Yeah.
Excuse me, where did you say those were located?
I have Facebook, email, and the YouTube channel. And on the Facebook, we'll make sure the board has all access to that, and then we'll set, when we first get started, then we can set the, limitations on it, if we want comments, no comments, or anything like that, just, so.
Where on email? Is there a,
No, it's for the town email.
oh, okay.
We had to have you have to have a Gmail for YouTube. It's a Google account, and we didn't have one, so we were able to set up one for the town.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I think that's all I have.
We're gonna, talk about, what we're doing about painting today.
Okay. So that's enough for us. Park board, we'll come back to that one. This is on there. Park board?
All right, 4th of July, Kevin and Victor was here. I'll let them speak on that. Which actually, I don't have any of my kids in Washington State, so. Sounds like it went off well. I've seen some videos while I was having a connection up there. What do you think?
The numbers may have been a little bit down, but it was quite a bit higher, this year than it's been in the past. Show was done very well, just as good as it's been in the past, if not better. Quite a few people were slightly disappointed that there was the concessions.
We haven't opened in years, but.
Well, no, last year I did concessions at my own pocket, lost my money, or lost my money.
That's a shirt.
But I actually was gonna do free popcorn and, lemonade. I stopped and bought enough stuff for 20, 30 gallons of lemonade. Couldn't find my cooler, and then it didn't work, and I pretty much got overheated, so, didn't really think popcorn was gonna be that good on a hot day like that. Well, find somebody to burn that up. I still got 20 pounds of popcorn in the house. Well, the fire department,
Trash day.
yeah. Talking to the fire department, Victor and I, I'll let him speak on it 'cause with the conflict, but they actually offered, said next year, would you like for us? I said, well, it's up to park board, or if park board's not gonna do something, fire department, or if they're gonna bring in some food trucks, trying to get this event kicking off with pushes since it's on weekend.
Yeah.
It's
More
there.
so out of their big city.
Yeah, we plan to get a little bit more involved, but the park boards, there's 5 of us now, and we're taking baby steps, trying to get organized, trying to get a 1-year plan and a 5-year plan. We do have a meeting, Beth and I have a meeting later this week with, Mrs. Tier at the, STEM Academy. We're gonna try to do a backpack, drive for them. We're gonna see what their recommendations are, what their requirements are, and we'll try to get that done before school's out, so we're gonna have to hit the ground running fast on that. We're gonna plan a movie night later in the fall when it cools down, and you don't have to wait until midnight to get enough darkness to go to a movie. And then we've got a car show that Marty's been helping us get planned, so Marty, Victor,
There's popcorn.
So we've got some plans going. The car show is really coming in taking shape.
Have you picked a date?
The date for the car show is September 20th, which is same day as the fish fry at the fire department. We figured if that's the case, we're gonna help them draw a crowd. So maybe we'll help them out a little bit with that. We'll have food trucks here as well, but we're not serving fish with food trucks, so there shouldn't be any kind of issue with that. So good plans going on there. One of the things that I wanted to bring to the council's attention, I tried to do this 6 or 7 years ago, but the technology wasn't there yet. I was trying to put automatic locks on the bathrooms here, so if they close a certain time of day, and they would be available at that time. I got a quote from the same guy that did all the lock systems for the police department. To do that, he's gonna pretty much rebuild both those doors, put new gaskets on them, and put electronic locks on there. He'll set the time to our preference. They're battery operated, batteries should last up to 3 years. They're interchangeable. If we ever decide to drop that building, build a new one, they can be taken off and put on the new building. They're around $4,000.
Each?
No,
Or total?
For both bathrooms.
that's the units in installed and the doors rehab.
Gaskets and all that.
New closures. So I was wondering if we could take that out of the rental fund, capital fund. If you guys would approve that kind of expenditure for that. I just think it's nice to have those bathrooms open during the daylight hours, and then we just gotta keep track of them, and, there's enough of us floating around now that we can always come down here and keep a check on them once, 3 times, 4 times a week.
It's like 30,000.
Is that something that the police department can have access to any time of day?
During the daylight hours, yes.
Okay.
They're also keyed. I can find out if I can get keys made, so that, and the way these locks work is, if there's somebody in there, if we set the timing for 8 o'clock and somebody's inside the room at 8 o'clock, it'll let them out, we won't let them back in. So if they forget something, they'll be back in the morning to get it.
Is there any way we can check on, maybe ADA compliance with at least one of those bathrooms, have a push button for, wheelchair access? I mean, we need to start really looking at that also.
We could do that, but that's because ADA compliance would have to have a push button on both sides, and an enclosure that works with it, your minimum $10,000. Minimum. We just did it for one of Christie's, one of Christie's apartment complexes.
What is this?
That's the quote.
Oh, yeah.
I'm big one. Totals on the back.
What?
Are you looking for the park fund?
Well, here's, I think, operating one.
Is there something to stop somebody from sticking something in the door so it doesn't lock? Is there a, you know what I mean? How?
No, other than patrol, other than just keeping an eye on it. I mean, the same thing now, if we unlock it during the day and forget, but no, it's gonna have a closure on it and nothing we can do.
Right, I was just curious, I didn't know if there was nothing at all.
Lori?
There's,
It's not where you have to check the time.
That's not just for,
Yeah, what'd you say?
it's just like 33, that's everything combined.
Everything meaning?
Operating the entire park, that's not just the rental one.
Do we have a, is there anywhere we have a breakdown?
Not on the top.
How much, do you know how much they rent on repairs?
The rental, there's $8,000.
Bathrooms?
Based on the appropriate.
Over the years,
That's what was said. Right?
a few $1,000s.
That's not the revenue. That's what we paid out, correct?
Balance, I'd say, there's 100% rental.
Yeah.
It's $8,000. So,
yeah.
I mean, I can,
You want to get a price?
well, I think we should get another quote.
Yeah.
But I can work with them to get a quote from another company. You know, my full-time job, we deal with doors a lot, so, I've got a couple good contacts that I can pass off.
I struggle finding somebody else that would do it, but you got a lot more contacts than I do, so yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I know, a guy that owns an automatic door business. So I can figure it out.
You also too, if you think about how much you spent on getting those repairs, that was fine. We so much money ahead.
Mike, Jay?
Yeah, so he's gonna work on getting any
Yeah.
quotes, so that way we can have.
Answer?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's all I got.
And
Okay.
Thanks, Kirby.
Brian Stanford, I think you might work on too.
Yeah.
Okay. But same one.
Okay.
Old business, Steve Brock sewer project. HRC project, I think, is there something we have to vote on, or do I just need to sign?
So I have from June, it was from June sixth, the, pay app number 2 for Division A and pay app number 1 for Division B for $104,640.84. Which is like authorization to pay it.
Yes.
And Christie and I are the ones that are supposed to sign it, but I can just need authorization that we can
We have it.
that paid. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it comes out of
It comes out of
the
the,
sewer budget.
one is out of the construction and the other one's out of the band.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm kind of concerned with the Huntington Bank checking thing that we have.
Can we vote on this real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I have a motion on the floor so we can go ahead?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Okay.
That was, sorry.
So we're not supposed to pay, what is it we're not supposed to pay, Lori?
Service fees.
Oh, yeah, service fees and wire,
Fire fees.
yeah, and
And we have to pay both the,
Right, yeah, it's $55. It's a $5 monthly fee, and then it's $50 every time I do a wire check. And I'm trying to get that
She's been working on
way,
it.
I'm working on it. But
I
right now,
thought we could, you know.
well, right now, it's been a no-go, but I'm going down a different avenue.
Because they want it wired, they don't want to do a check.
Correct, because it's so much.
Yeah.
Now, see, Citizens waive our wire. Theirs is a $50 fee also, but they waive it because I only do it once a month. So, I'm trying.
Which you would have thought we would have known that before we went through Huntington, that they was gonna
That was,
charge
it was
us.
set up with,
Steve brought it all.
Steve set it all up.
Maybe Steve should pay that wire fee.
Because I just trying to get audited, but we possibly get dinged for that, is my thing. Because that's not what we're supposed to do.
Surplus maintenance, did we already discuss that?
Kinda.
Yeah. What was up there, so that my sample.
Yeah, we're gonna work on
All right.
pricing.
More insurance.
New business, more insurance premiums.
That is just to let you know what the insurance premiums are for, that's coming up. Steve McConnell had it all prepared, and you can see how much it's drastically gone up from last year.
So what's all this one for? Just the properties that we own?
Yeah, old towns, like.
Yeah, it's all
contents.
this out, yes.
So I have a question, I noticed that Karen's bond is still on here,
It will be until it expires, I believe, it's asked for it to be removed.
2031?
He
You
said
should
that
have
it
expired in 20.
Because I told him that she, with her no longer being here, is that still have to be on there, and he said it did.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Please kind of look into that to me.
Well, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah,
I'm no longer employed,
Yeah,
so-
that's what I.
It just hasn't worked at all
He
this
said that's
year.
what it is.
And her bond expired December 31st.
I don't know.
Interesting.
I think, his number's on there, you can reach out to him.
Okay.
What is this other EMC?
Well, yeah.
Back,
Cyber suite, where are you at?
the cyber suite elite summary. The last two.
That's
pages.
for any cyber attacks that we would have.
So we would have to pay $571 a year for that?
And it's through a different, it's through that, the EMC insurance, that's why it's on a different page. That was through Morgan Insurance.
Yeah, I know, like, with my regular job, our insurance is just skyrocketed.
Yes.
How much, where does it
$11,000. The last one, piece.
So I see the cyber is included in the summary
It is,
total.
yeah.
Yeah,
It is.
It's not in addition.
and that's not a bad thing to have, there's so many cyber hacks.
Yeah.
What's the umbrella? What, almost $3,000?
That's for me.
I don't know.
Is this the workman's comp too?
No, that's right, that's.
When does this have to be decided on?
I don't have it date on here, I don't know. I can get a hold of you and find out.
Yeah.
I don't know, I didn't ask.
Yeah, we could take it on that, that would be good.
Yeah, typically before we just paid it, and so I brought it to your all attention.
Okay. Appreciate that. Looks like we can do that on there. And then look at the salary ordinance.
For,
Usually can make an amendment to the
Yeah,
ordinance
right.
number 2024-09.
And we need to decide the percentages.
I left that blank because I don't know how you want to allocate payment across the different funds.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, realistically, the majority of their work is gonna be through the first four, not through the electric.
Right.
yeah, with the,
A smaller percent. I think a smaller percentage should be coming out of the electric because they won't be doing as much in there.
and with like the general, there's road, street and road and all that, so I would take,
Well, there's MVH and then there's Lower Road Street.
it's all out of general, right? That's all general, just different line items.
No.
No, they're all different funds.
MVH is an entirely different fund.
Yeah,
Well, so is Local Road Street.
yeah.
Okay.
So.
Or, MDH, I'm the general, right? MDH.
Yeah, it's part of the general, but when you do the.
MVH is
general
not part of-
payroll, oh,
Yeah,
like I
you
said,
said
in, as the bank account, it is, because I have to add both of them
Yeah.
together. I have to take the general payroll plus MVH and add that together.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, I see it in our checking.
Yeah, it's just different.
But they're different funds. That they may be held, the money may be held in the same bank account.
Yeah.
No, they're different funds. They're not different line items. MVH is funded from entirely different sources and there are restrictions on how it can be spent.
Yeah, we have the R, MVH and MVHR, yes.
Okay. Right, and actually, those are two different funds too, under MVH, but they're not part of general fund.
Well, they come out of,
But it doesn't matter, you're free to spend it on this.
they come out of our tax office.
Well, they don't, they're not property, MVH is not property tax funding. It comes from other taxes that are collected, I don't know whether that's a cigarette tax or what it is, but, there is, general fund is all property tax funded.
Motor vehicle.
Right. Right. But it doesn't matter, because you're allowed to spend MVH funds on compensation for personnel. The only restriction you have is you have to keep a certain percentage of it is restricted to be used on
Yeah,
construction.
we don't touch it, we don't touch the R.
Otherwise, it's kind of free to be spent on about anything.
It was just MVH.
because if you take it from the sewer works or the water, trustee, you gotta consider that that's going to change our property laws.
Right,
If we
but that's
take it
where the
from-
majority of the
exactly,
work
but
is.
I was thinking if we took the, motor vehicle highway is too, and then you got your general, so I would say if we took like 40, then 10.
Yeah.
I mean, the electric alone,
I was thinking like
or 30.
25% MVH, 15 out of general, 25 out of sewer, 25 out of water, and 10 out of electric.
The water's still hurting.
I understand that, but
I speak for.
the majority of the work is being done in those categories.
So what do you think the water was, you said 25?
I had 25 in water, sewer, and MVH, 15 in general, 10 in electric.
That's close.
Just a suggestion.
20, 20, 25, 25, 10. Right there.
And then, what'd you say, 10?
Yeah, 10 for electric. So are we good with the 25, 15, 25, 25, 10? Or some, okay.
We'll see what the answer is.
And Lori's right, it is principally property tax for MVH, local road and street is funded by other sources, so I didn't have that right. But what's important is whether you're free to spend it on the city water.
Okay.
Why, there you are.
So.
What are the percentages again?
25%?
For MVH?
Yeah. And then 15 for general,
Okay.
and then 25 for sewer, and 25 for water. And then 10 for electric.
Okay.
Do we have an ordinance number for this?
It'd be 25-3.
3?
Yes.
Well, I make a motion, we,
Do we need to finish reading it out? Or we good with it?
I think, we told it all, good.
Okay.
make a motion, we approve ordinance 2025-3 with the breakdown of pay, 25, 15, 25, 25,
I'll second.
Have a second, all in favor?
10. Aye.
Alright, Comcast Internet. We're working on getting us some pricing for Comcast for the maintenance building. Is that right?
Maintenance department, police department, and the utility office. And then I wanted to ask about seeing if we could get another quote, if you wanted to have it for down in here. Cause I did not do that. Okay, I didn't think about that. But I imagine they've all been the same price, so I imagine it'd be the same.
129.95.
Yeah.
So this is just internet,
Yes.
Well,
monthly service fee, 154.90
$154.90
for office,
for each of them.
yeah.
What's the non-recurring charge?
Why is
129.
Police department, okay.
This is what he,
So the price actually is 154.90, not the 129.95?
That's what it was.
yeah, one fifty, four ninety,
Okay.
What do we pay now?
$100.
So we're gonna pay more.
Yeah, we're gonna, because we're gonna be able to support the cloud for when we go to the online billing. Right now, that's what we have will not
2-year
And it has
contract.
more, security features than what AT&T did.
Probably faster too.
Yes.
So. And it's a 2-year contract. So we're gonna lock these prices in for 2 years, so.
Could you find out if we could give a package deal for the hospitals?
I can.
Because we'll have to go to anyways.
I'm gonna have to do the installation, I have to be installed by 1929, to qualify for the mobile discount.
Yeah, they'll give us better pricing, especially having
Right.
four accounts.
We should be posted.
Looks like if they did it be, what, from 9/29? They installed by September 29.
I think so, but I'm not really sure, but it looks like that's me.
Yeah. You can check out to see if we can do a bundle rate, that would be awesome.
Where will the parks account be made from? Since it's primarily used for
Try to
county.
come out of the parks department.
Well, since it's primarily used for
Yeah.
town meeting.
Used for us.
Has to come out of the general.
I mean,
I think if we,
open it to the public, then.
no, but if we got it and had Wi-Fi cameras.
Go ahead.
I didn't want to interrupt him, but if you're gonna do that, you might as well put
We need
better
cameras.
camera system in here on the water part of it and all that.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
So this one down here could get split up.
Different ways.
The different-
Yeah.
So we could
Part of it
possibly
water,
take it out.
part of it water, part of it general.
Yeah.
Until some grant money comes into the park, the budget's pretty strained, that's way back here.
But if we can get it as a bundle deal, we would just rotate it out, and everything keeps running. That's one price.
Yeah.
But it would be nice to have cameras done.
Yes, it would be.
Yeah.
Lights, maybe, but cameras. Okay, yeah.
Oh, speaking of lights, I did reach out to IMPA and they're working on getting us pricing to replace some of the, like dusk to dawn security lights with new LED units. So the big price to provide and install
The
those.
ones that we got, LED, we got something as a grant or something with it. Well, leave it alone.
Yeah, because I know there's some several streetlights that are out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's, yeah.
Qualified for something.
There's 4 of them, well, 3 on Gale and 1 at the end of Ron that are out that
Yeah.
we've been getting complaints about.
Yeah,
But,
okay, get some pricing on this then.
yeah,
Where do we stand on that account for, as far as money? I mean, and they haven't been really,
That would be in this too, wouldn't it?
because we haven't paid for any of that Comcast, it's all been paid by Comcast. all.
Yeah, so, yeah, I
So
mean,
we should have a pretty good surplus.
you should, yes.
Because Comcast pays us and then we pay them, but.
I haven't heard of anything being pulled out of the HIPAA account, vegetation removal or.
Yeah, I know they were in town doing some vegetation removal just recently, within the last week or so. So, we'll have some being pulled out of it for that, but it kind of, they work through that account, you know. They know what they need to do, what they can spend every year,
Yeah.
so they don't come to us and say like, hey, we want to use some money out of this, they just do it. Because that's part of the contract.
Now, are they done with cleaning all the vegetation around poles and trees and all
No,
that stuff?
I don't think so.
No, I mean,
When they get to that section is when they clean the vegetation out, am I right?
I believe
Yeah.
so.
Because I've had a couple of complaints on, like in the alleys,
Mhm.
they can't get through because the trees can't overgrown or.
Yeah.
Well, now some of those may not be on
That's
these.
what I asked, would that be on the homeowner too, right?
Alleys is maintained, we should be maintaining the alleys.
Yes, we should.
It's not being maintained.
Right. Right,
And I
and then we have that
live
issue about the alley over
We
here
probably don't know where all around.
East
the
Street.
to that and take care of it alone.
where the raised beds are at.
Mhm.
So supposedly that's an alley, but
It's also right next to the door.
it's an alley that she has extended out her gravel to be part of the alley, then she put raised beds, and that one resident was really having a cow about it. He wants to know what we're gonna do about it, because he says it's an alley, she should be able to walk out. So, that's something, yeah.
Especially the tree behind our house, in the garage.
Gannon?
You just brought up, something about dawn or dusk, which made me think, can we amend or adopt an ordinance, or put an ordinance together for the park that makes the park accessible from dawn to dusk? That's the key.
I thought that was the park rule.
I asked about it before, and you guys said that you would try to adopt or make an ordinance. Because we do have people that come here overnight, and we don't have anything
You can't,
set, you know.
right, you can't do anything
So
about it.
usually we can talk to them and convince them, hey, it's not,
Right.
not to be here.
Move along,
After
yeah.
us.
So you want a park ordinance that's closed from, what's it, dusk to dawn? Dawn to dusk?
Open from dawn to dusk.
Thank you. Okay.
Let's not make it where kids can.
And I don't know.
The park is.
As far as this building and the time.
It's a park
to
just
allow,
for kids and they should use.
People who rent the building, that may be an exception.
I was gonna say, yeah, we can just say this.
That, because I understand that there are times when it's dark and there are people that have rented the
But
building.
we have a closing
There
time
may be
here.
exceptions for that, but as far as, a lot of times when I work nights, I would drive through and I would see there would be people in the park, and there's nothing for me to say, hey, you can't be in the park.
Okay.
I can convince them, say, hey, you guys shouldn't be here. Most of the time, without argument, they would leave. There's no fine or enforcement action that the police department can take to prevent people from being here. Because if they're here after dark, what are we really doing in the park after dark? The graffiti, the damage to the bathroom, which I found all those times. So, if we could do something like that. And then maybe one more thing, unrelated, something to think about. I asked last year, I think the attorney sent me something from Morgantown for the golf cart ordinance. We have a lot of golf carts in town being operated by kids, and even unlicensed drivers because of,
You have to have
the
a
small
license to drive.
license. But something to consider, a golf cart permitting,
No
an
underage.
ordinance, something where they pay an annual fee, that
Yeah.
we inspected, they understand the rules to operating, the golf carts. There's a lot, I'm sure you guys have seen them. We don't have anything we can enforce that, so something to take into consideration.
Yeah. I see a lot of the small towns are doing that now, is they're doing golf cart
And I
inspections.
think we sent something last year,
Okay.
of their ordinance, maybe something we can look, or I can take a look at and see what works for us.
Okay.
And maybe get it back to you guys and for you guys to review,
Yeah, yeah.
if that's an option.
And the children need to be of a certain age.
Well, I think the restriction is you have to have a driver's license,
Yeah.
because it is a motor vehicle by
Right.
Indiana code, and it's being operated on.
Generally, what I've seen, like down in Franklin, they have the same, and they have to go and get it inspected, they pay for a sticker. They have to have turn signals, headlights, taillights,
Yes.
things like that, and a slow moving placard.
I think that
No,
is.
not all,
Bars look like that too.
correct, but like the new one, we do not.
Yeah, I think that was something that we sent, that was in their ordinance, that said the same thing.
Okay.
Franklin even had a seatbelt on their golfer. I don't know that we need it to that extent, but I think it does need to be compliant with the rules of the road. Turn signals, like you said, absolutely. Headlights, if it's being operated at night. And even include, and I'm sorry for, I'm not using the proper terminology, but, the side-by-sides. Their exact name, I don't know.
Yeah.
But something, because there are a lot of side-by-sides in town, and maybe,
But something,
Maybe
so
they're not-
side by sides are not legal.
yeah, making an umbrella, if we do that, I think it's,
I think there's called something else where they are illegal, but because they're not really a side by
Well, you
side.
can get a county, sticker where they can be used on certain roadways in the county, but we don't have that, so we may need to adopt something or just make one ordinance that covers all, if possible.
Okay. No, I like that, it's good, thanks.
That would help us too, because if somebody gets an accident that involves a golf cart, or you just have a driving on the roadway and decides to slash your car, and you have a 4-year-old kid driving it, you know, there's other problems that come with that.
Okay.
I have something, I have a question on the weed four-wheelers and stuff. If the parents don't stop their kids, I mean, you see all these kids driving around in them all the time. If they do, if you guys do that, and can you make the parents responsible for fines and stuff because of that?
Yeah.
The off-road dirt bikes should not be on the roadway to begin with. So that's an issue if we can address that.
Okay. All right. I say, it's claims? Oh, yeah,
We're
claims.
gonna talk about.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Resolution. I did a little math. Of course I did.
So what we're talking about is because Mike came in early before he started on those 3 days and spent like 10 hours on the 4th of July. So we want to do something to compensate him.
Solution,
Well, that's right. So 9 o'clock to, I got home at 9:30.
So 12 and a half.
okay. I was told 10, so I figured it at 10, so I'm wrong. But I took his pay divided by 52 weeks.
Okay.
And that was his weekly salary. And then I divided it by 40 hours, and would be his hourly. And then I timed that by, I was told around 10, so I just went with the 10, and it was that, the 360.50. Then I didn't know if it was overtime, you would throw that in there or not, but that would be an additional 180.25, which would make it $540 instead of last. But I'm not doing it right, you got a couple more hours, so if we just say like 600.
I think under probably wage and hour law, you need to treat him as if he started working on the moment he started working. And pay him based on his salary and apply overtime rules and treat him as if he just started then.
Yeah, well, he really didn't have overtime, well.
He did, if he ended his work week, it's gonna work more than 40 hours.
Yeah, he didn't work here that way. He just.
He did work here that week.
He worked here Thursday, Friday, Wednesday, Thursday. and Friday.
So,
And so if he didn't exceed 40 hours, he's not entitled to overtime. But if you have a policy that pays premium on holidays, I don't know whether you do it or not. I don't know
he
what the
doesn't
policy says.
qualify for that, they would be here 90 days.
For what?
Holiday pay,
Yeah,
you know.
so,
Okay. Well, then, and if you want to do something different than that, it's within your discretion to do that. It's in your discretion to do that.
Yeah, because he was in, several days, several times last week.
okay.
Not just Friday.
So,
It's not in my office, asking questions and getting things ready and meeting with guys.
And he was working on the lift station.
Yes, and so it was prior to.
what is this paying for the week?
Pay the week's salary.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, that would be the,
That was in-
that was what,
Yeah.
that's what I would do. That's
That's the least we should do for showing appreciation for coming in on his own.
That's my way.
Yeah, no, just paying weeks on
Okay.
Do you need to make a motion for that, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll make a
This is
motion,
whatever you don't.
I'll make a motion to pay week's salary.
A motion.
You're not gonna pay nothing.
All in favor? Aye. All carried. Kevin, Mitch.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I think that would be fair.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, let's pay the bills.
I make a motion to pay the bills.
Have a motion and a second on the floor, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, bills are paid. Okay. So if you want to speak, or did you already speak?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I have Curtis.
Les Curtis, do you want to speak, do you have anything?
No.
Okay. Fabiola?
Yeah, I wanted to brought up the bonus or the plan for Mike, because I was gonna, that was the and also to respectfully request the council's consideration, possibly give a one-time bonus to Officer Gannon, as well. I mean, and shows appreciation, on the town's part, as, you know, to reinforce the value that we place on our employees who rise up to the occasion when the town needs them. You know, their dedication, quick response, and commitment means a lot, and I think we've spent money in other areas unexpectedly. I know that Officer Gannon's situation is different, and it would probably cause other unprecedented issues with other employees, but it's still something that should be considered. This town is moving forward with a lot of positivity, so I think it'd be something that I would like for you guys to consider. So I'm glad that you guys brought that up with Mike, because just seeing him first time impressions mean a lot, and I'm like, wow, I'm impressed. So I hope he sticks around for a very long time, and you know, thank you guys for having me.
Well, Lee can vouch for me. I mean, he's known me
Oh, there you
a
go.
long time now.
I don't know about that.
That's good. Well, thank you.
JR?
Yeah, I was talking to Lori, this week because of my bill again. I know you guys are going to the electronic meters, that's the plan for the water, but we just hired 3 new meter readers.
Well, we have time somebody do it till we can get the
I understand that.
done, so.
Yeah, that's probably about a year out
Yeah.
from start to finish.
And we were already paying somebody to do that,
Yeah.
and then we did it for a month, and so we hired professionals to do it because we are not professionals.
No, I get that, I just know there was 2 people doing it, and now we're looking at them.
Actually, there was 4 people doing it for that price, so we got it pretty much where we wanted to be, and they'll get it done in a day versus a weekend.
Well, hopefully these guys can read them, unlike the last.
They're used to reading about 800 to 900 meters a day, so we should be good.
Well, no, I'm saying I hope this group can read them.
Yes, yeah.
Issues in the past.
What was the issue with your bill?
Are you seriously? Like, we can throw it
Yeah.
out there.
I mean, I personally read your meter.
No.
No, I didn't read
Kirby
it.
and Chrissy did.
No, I'm writing because I had a broken foot. I'm writing, Kirby was doing electric and he did
There was
water.
3 of them.
Yeah, Mitch and I were there.
Okay, well, I only saw you guys.
Yeah, Mitch did the water. I was writing
There
down.
was a time frame where Mitch wasn't with us, but for your house, for that part of that whole addition, it was 3 of us.
Yeah.
Oh, because I only seen the 2 of you with
Yeah.
Gator.
Yeah, well, I was driving. I had a broken foot.
Yeah. Since Gammon's gonna be out for who knows how long
Right.
with his recovery, so we have no daytime patrol. Zero.
We didn't have daytime patrol.
We absolutely did. He worked days.
Not all the
Last
time,
couple
just
months
recently.
he's worked
yeah,
days.
yes.
Okay, and
We've never had patrol before, really. I mean, he worked nights, Brad worked, they worked middays to evenings, and sometimes Gannon would be on days, you're right.
so we're down an officer again.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is what it is.
Okay. So, okay, on your water bill, let's go back, because he said he read it. What was the issue?
No, this has been going on for a year and a half.
Okay.
This isn't.
My water's high because I have a pool. I can tell you that right now. I fill my pool, it's high.
Right. And I get that, but mine shouldn't be 14,000 gallons in December. When for years, Lori can attest to this, I'm not trying to drag her into this, we looked at previous years. I was 4,200, 4,500. Now I'm closer to 10 on average for over a year. Nothing's changed. I have one less person living in my house. I have no leaks. I talked to, I met you once.
Mike.
Mike. just the other day.
So we went and read your meter again,
Mm-hmm.
and we got the same, I believe the same, or it was in correlation with it
Yeah.
and everything. Now, when we was there, was you filling the pool that day?
No.
Yeah, cause you came in and you said you had it on a timer.
Well, no, that minute, you said, you're asking me
I said that day.
that day?
Yeah.
So when we stopped and looked at it,
Mhm.
the leak detector was just spinning like crazy.
And he
So
came
it
in.
must have been filling up at that time.
Or laundry going, I mean, I don't know.
So, yeah.
That minute,
Yeah, cause he came in right after you, not too long right after you had left, and he said that it was spinning off the rails. And I said, well, you had just left and said that you had it on a timer and was filling the pool up.
Oh,
So
I'm
that's
sorry,
why I
you're
told
right,
you.
I did. 'cause I
Yeah,
did.
so that's, I was like, man, he's got a major leak into that house or something,
I
so.
forgot, I just showed you my
Yes,
phone.
you did.
You're right, sorry, it's been a long week.
No,
But no, I've talked to Lori several times about this, my usage is doubled, so tripled. No explanation, zero has changed, we don't do we do less laundry now.
So,
No less.
I know you asked for a meter change.
Yeah,
As soon as I can find one, because I don't know where everything's at down there yet. And I don't know what meters are good and what ones are bad.
cause they came last month.
Right.
We're going to, and we talked, I'm sure you talked to your coworkers.
So, just bear with me.
No,
Let me find a good working meter.
I totally, I'm with you, I'm totally,
So, and then we'll go from there and see how it does then.
yeah, no, I'm wishing you well, I hope this works out, I'm not.
No, you're good.
Your door, I can't see more you want.
Time, the last time this meter was changed.
I don't think there has been.
It probably hasn't.
No.
Never, 25 years,
Or, yeah, who knows?
that's how old the house is.
Right.
Oh, mine was wrong.
Right.
I mean,
Anything else?
the motion was during the
You have
meeting.
a motion during the meeting? Have a second?
Aye.
All in favor?